I think my boyfriend is cheating on me with my older sister. Ooh, this is gonna be juicy. Like, I'm sad, yeah. I'm sad for her. I mean, but let's get into it and see what happened. I, 20 female, and my boyfriend, 29 male, I will call him R, have been together for about a year and a half now. Okay, that's kind of like a long time. Yeah, so let's kind of like keep going. And up until recently, I always trusted him, maybe blindly and naively looking back on it. Yeah, 20 and 29. That's a big age difference. Let's keep going. I started losing my trust a few months ago when an ex appears. I will call her A, found me on Instagram and DM'd me what was basically the dreaded "Hey girly" test. Oh, not the kind of test I like to receive on a regular basis. I've gotten a "Hey girly" test once. But let's keep going. I knew about A because they were pretty serious in college, and he and his mom had both told me stories about her. I was told by R that they ended their long term relationship because they wanted different things in life. He said she wanted to settle down and he wasn't ready. I believed him, but A told me that they actually broke up because after 4 years together and talking about marriage, she found out he had been cheating on her almost the whole time with no remorse. Ooh, that's sad. A red flag. No, not a red flag. That's a red C. Like his unwillingness to even tell you why he wasn't ready. I think like let's keep going. Apparently, they have rekindled sometime about a year before, and A thought he has grown as a person, so they were considering meeting up and possibly getting back together until he randomly ghosted her. She found my account through his and pieced us together by our photos that I was the reason he ghosted her. She provided multiple screenshots and timestamps, and they are all around the same time frame me and him started talking. He was talking to us both and entertaining us both up until the same day he asked me to make things official. This is totally like is this guy for real? I don't know why she didn't tell me sooner or if she had just found out, but I never even asked because I don't know even if I want to know more. I thanked her and I did confront him with this almost immediately. He was honest, but I think that was only because I had the proof right there in front of us. He admitted that he was talking to both of us and another girl because he was single and he had the right to. When I pointed out that I told him I wasn't talking to anyone else very early now on our second stage, and he could have told me then, or better yet, stop talking to these women. If he thought we were so serious, he got very defensive and said I was making this out to be something it wasn't, and said I was acting like he was a cheater. Like, dude, are you serious? The fact that he brought up cheetah is telling to me. Even though I didn't think of it in the moment, I know he did not technically cheat on me, but it still feels disrespectful that he not only did it, but didn't even think to tell me throughout our whole relationship. This opened my eyes to some massive red flags that just seemed to keep popping up, and eventually they were all I could see about him. I still love him despite how stupid that sounds. Even now, as I'm typing this, I still hope I'm so very wrong, though I don't think I am. But I need other opinions because I feel crazy. Let's see the sister. So my sister, 25 female, who I will call J, just went through a nasty breakup 3 months ago and had to move back home with my parents to get back on her feet. Instead of hiring a moving company and wasting that money, she just asked our brother, 23 male, to use his truck and have the family help her move. Of course we did it, but I felt like we needed some more help, so I stupidly invited R to come and help us. I fail to understand that how that's stupid. I mean, like you're asking your boyfriend. Let's keep going. R has never met my sister before, but then as soon as they started talking, I felt like a third wheel. They had more in common, which I should have expected with them being closer in age than me and him. I ignored it at first and tried to convince myself I was glad they were getting along. But the way he looked at her when we left later that night and the way she said goodbye, like there was more behind the word, filled me with jealousy. It wasn't even a full week later and it started getting weirder. I made a comment in the middle of a date night about how mature my sister is, which, if you talk to this woman at all, anyone can tell she's the opposite of mature. So I know this was some kind of day because I've always been self cautious of our age gap. I have even said the word, I wish I was more mature to him before. It's like he's kind of like indirectly trying to tell you that you are immature. And it's weird that he's like thinking about her on a date. I mean, you're on a date with him. And then he starts talking about someone else. You are there, and then they are kind of like talking about someone of the opposite sex in their mind, and then he's bringing it up. Let's keep going. My mood was ruined after this because he made no sense to the reason why he was even thinking of Jay, and I was already upset and on edge. So I tried to end our night early, but he was following me around his apartment and yelling at me that I was acting insecure and I didn't trust him. I let it slip that I actually hadn't trusted him for a while. And he asked me what the point of our relationship was if I can't trust him. And after some back and forth of me saying that he needed to work to regain my trust, and him saying I was blaming him for stuff he can't change, I ended up leaving because he would not stop and I wanted to sleep. I went to my parents' place because they were closer and it was late already, so I crashed there. My mom, of course, was curious and I broke down and explained everything to her, minus the J details, because I knew she would be listening and she was. I was a crying mess by the end, but my mom said that she thought I was being paranoid and jumping to conclusions based on his past. I called her, and to his credit, he did pick up quickly, and I told him I was sorry, but now I feel like a pushover because looking back on it, I was not the one who needed to apologize. Jay even came down and confronted me herself, which is rare because she usually only cares for herself. I should have seen this as a sign, but I was too caught up on thinking my sister finally cared about me. For a while, everything was okay. When I got back to his place, he apologized for yelling and said he hated seeing me leave and even asked me to move in with him. I hadn't decided yet, but I was stupidly considering saying yes. Everything felt too good to be true, and I was tired of feeling crazy, so I just started to accept that I may have paranoia issues, and everything was basically confirmed for me. In the middle of the night, like a month and a half after Jay moved back, almost 4 in the morning, R was on the phone with her. Woo, caught in the arts. Like, but for what purpose is your sister on the phone with your boyfriend at 4 in the morning? Let's keep going. I caught him in his living room, basically whispering into his phone. Not whispering. I was already suspicious and angry before I even knew who it was and asked him instead of doing the smart thing and listening into whatever they were talking about because I still don't know what their late night conversations were about. Ooh, 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 ooh. He didn't even try to hide it. He admitted to me that he and Jay had been talking for weeks and we were becoming close friends. He said he didn't tell me because he knew how I would react and he was worried that I would think the worst. Well, if you know that this is not something your girlfriend would like, then why are you doing it? Especially after she told you that she's uncomfortable and you guys had a fight about you and her sister. So, hearing him say that felt so demeaning because he told me he knew how I would feel and what it would look like, but he did it anyway. I was too angry to even have a conversation with him, so I locked myself in the bedroom until it was light out. Ignoring him, Jay, who spammed my phone with explanations. As soon as I could, I left his apartment with as much of my stuff as I could carry. I vented to my mom about this on the phone just to find out that it was my own mother who gave our phone number to my sister that night I crashed at their house because she apparently wanted to get to know him better. What? My mom keeps saying that she's being a good sister and looking after me by making sure he's good enough, but I don't believe it. The timing is too weird. You can be a good sister and see if a guy is good for your sister or friend. She finds out my boyfriend's history of cheating, and that's when she wants his number. That's suspicious. That's weird. If she truly was trying to make sure he's good for me, she would have not felt the need to go behind my back to get our number. Would she not have done that in the beginning? And she did not do that with either of my previous relationships. Ooh, this is a case of you have a toy that she wants. For some context, how my mom acts toward Jay, my sister has always been spoiled rotten. She's my parents' favorite and didn't hear the word no from them if they could help it. In my parents' eyes, my mom especially, she can do no wrong. Even though Jay is one of the rudest people I know, my mom still sees her as a baby. This is why she acts the way that she does because she thinks that she can have anything she wants, including her sister's boyfriend. My mom keeps trying to get me to accept that she's just going through a hard time and needs a good friend like her who takes care of her. How is going through a hard time affect your sister's relationship? I mean, you're going through a hard time. You should have friends that'll take care of you, not your sister's girlfriend. Unless you have friends. Let's keep going. That makes me more livid because why should my boyfriend be responsible for the heavy lifting of my sister's life? She's a grown adult. She could go to therapy for her problem. She shouldn't need to call my boyfriend about that in the middle of the night. Agreed. Last week was my final straw. I found out through my brother that R and J have been regularly meeting up at bars for weeks now. Oh no, the audacity. Even after a big fight about them calling in the night, going on what Jay calls friend date. The cherry on top is that she specifically told my brother not to tell me. He told me almost immediately and I finally broke. Honestly, your brother is the only one that I don't want to throw on the trash. There is no good excuse for my boyfriend to be regularly seeing my sister behind my back, so I finally confronted them. I waited at my appointment and called them both to come, and the looks on their faces when they realized they were both there made my stomach churn. I didn't mention knowing about their little date because I wanted to see if they would dig themselves into a hole, and that is exactly what they did. They both said they barely interact off the phone, and when they did, it wasn't planned and it just happened. I let them say their whole spiel before simply dropping. So you ended up at the same bar multiple weekends in a row for friend date on accident? Ooh, you moved to the shadows, bestie. I love that. When I used her own words, I saw her face and she knew, I knew. They tried to say it was nothing weird and they both adamantly denied anything happened during those friend dates. It doesn't matter if anything physically happened, they are still going behind your back. They are still laying the groundwork to cheat. I feel in my God that they are lying about that too, since they can so easily lie to me about everything else. Ooh, some. I would say they were just hanging out as friends, but once they lied to my face about them, I knew they were more than friendly hangouts. I had not had evidence of anything going on past these days, and even if nothing physical happened, he's at least emotionally cheating on me with her and let me feel like a crazy paranoid girlfriend, trying to make me feel like I was seeing things while manipulating me and having the nerve to ask me to move in with him while doing this. Oh wow. I have not spoken to either of them or my mom since I can't help but think my mom knew. What I keep thinking of that hurt most is that had A not told me he had a past of being a cheater, I would probably be thinking he's such a nice guy, helping and befriending my sister, and he would have all let me stay in the dark. They have not stopped trying to contact me, and I have gotten multiple voicemails from my mom that I'm sure are defending them, so I can't even bring myself to listen to them. No. I don't like anyone in this story except your brother. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now or how to go about this. I technically didn't break it off with R and I don't know how to. I fully believe he was trying to trap me in his life by asking me to move in, and now I'm honestly a little scared of what he could try to keep me around. Thank your lucky stars that your life is made complicated by moving in with this guy. You don't live with him, right? Because I'm assuming you don't actually move in, girl. You're fine. Because things can get infinitely more complicated when you're sharing a space with someone and you like can't break a lease, or you have kids together, or a house together, or a baby. It's honestly a whole family other than your brother making excuses for your sister. Trash. And that hurts me. Let's keep going. My brother said he would gladly break it to him for me, but I don't know if that's the mature thing to do. And I keep having to beat myself up mentally for missing him. Am I jumping to conclusions like my mom thinks, or does it seem like he's actually emotionally cheating with my own sister? He's 100% emotionally cheating. Girl, he's going behind your back, meeting up with him at bars. Let's check the comments. Everyone but your brother lied to you. Dump him, take a long break from your family, but lean a bit on your brother for support, not the air hole. I completely agree with this comment. Dump that loser. He's too old for you anyway. Go no contact with your mom and your sister. If they didn't cheat, they were leading up to it. Either way, the trust is broken. If you can't say anything to him, get your brother to do it. Your brother will probably be able to sniff out what a liar him and your sister are without bias. Ooh, you are a barely legal woman dating a man who is almost 30. You're not the a-hole, but you need to drop that old dude like a hot potato and find someone closer to your own age. I like this one. I mean, it's not every time, but most times when someone is dating someone that's like in their early 20s or even younger, if the age gap is like bigger than, let's say, 5, 6 years, even it's almost always because younger people are easily manipulated. They haven't had as much life experience, and what's more is you're probably more acceptable to gaslighting because you don't even know what gaslighting is. Okay, we have an update. This is so cool. Let's check the update and see, because this is gonna be juicy. Well, I just hope she makes a good decision. I decided to cut ties with her. Thank goodness. And I've got no contact with my sister and my mom. The day after I posted my initial MIDAHO, I took some of you guys' advice and I broke it off with her through a careful test that said, more or less, I do not believe nothing happened between you and my sister, and I won't stay in a relationship with someone who would break my trust like that. Even if nothing happened, you lied to me about seeing her, went behind my back to be with her, and hurt me, all for someone you barely knew, for someone I'm supposed to be able to trust. I do not want you to test or call me, and I don't want to see you again. My brother will be coming to get anything of mine you still have when he can. I wanted the text to be direct and fast so he couldn't try to twist my word, but he still responded saying he only wanted to be with me, was sorry he hurt me, and that he didn't mean to break my trust. So I silenced his contacts and put my phone on do not disturb for now, but I know he's still been interesting. I just received even look at them. Some comments said not to block him fully just in case. I also kind of agree with that, even if it kind of like a very anxiety inducing thing. I would say like have him like close. Like evidence is good. Don't block him fully just in case he goes too far, and I need documentation, so I'm following that advice until I'm in the clear. My sister showed up to my apartment unannounced. Ooh. After this, and I'm positive he told her about my test. I talked to her outside because I wanted to see if I could get more information out of her, but didn't want her in my apartment. So while she was begging me to forgive her, I said I would if she told me the truth. And I was pretty much right. She confessed that they both talked about being attracted to each other and about what they would do together if I wasn't in the picture on those late night phone calls. The furthest he went was talking about getting a hotel room for the weekend to act on this, which she claims I'll shut down, but I don't believe that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe that either. I mean, this looks like he's literally cheating. I don't believe that. That's cheating. If you're doing something that your partner would not like, if you're doing something behind their back, you are either betraying them or you are cheating. Both of those are ground for breakups. She said nothing physical ever happened, and they went on those friend dates to live a fantasy they were never gonna act on, which I think is BS. She said she was the one pushing for them to go further, but he never crossed the line. But I do not care. They were leading up to cheating physically if they haven't already, and in my eyes, they did already cheat. They were basically sex or having phone sex or whatever the hell while I was asleep in the next room. And her trying to justify that makes me feel sick. I told her I was likely not going to talk to her ever again, and she went from begging to being angry and calling me a liar almost immediately. Lying about what? So I went back to my apartment to avoid doing something I would regret. Also, I finally listened to my mom's voicemail and they were in fact defending Jay. I called her, told her what Jay admitted to, and asked if she knew. She said she didn't know and thought they were just friends, but still thinks I'm being too hard on Jay. She thinks I should be more angry at R since he made the commitment to me and Jay would be my sister for life. Huh? Like, I beg your finest pardon. No. I would argue and I would be more mad at my sister or your sister. I mean, she's your sister. If you can't have loyalty in your family, where the fuck can you get it? Well, let's keep going. Almost there. I believe her that she didn't know about everything, but I can't even find the words to describe how I feel about her expecting me to just forgive Jay. Just kind of like. I also do not believe she told the full story, but I have no idea how I would find out more while also avoiding them like the plague, like I want to. I've not spoken to them since, but they pretty much brought the whole family into this to try to convince me to reconsider. No, the whole family doesn't know the full story. I'll just say that. I could tell they were just repeating what my mom or Jay told them, but I still made it clear to them I would also be going no contact with anyone who tried to convince me to talk to them before I am ready. And my brother backed me up on this. Oh, I like the brother. Anyone that's like pushing you to forgive her or talk to the guy doesn't know what's going on. And if they do, then we're gonna contact. But just bear in mind there is some strings being pulled and manipulating going on in the background and cherry picking what actually happening. My brother is probably all that's gonna get me through this. He plans to go to house tomorrow to get my stuff, and he's actually going to be staying with me because he do have a spare key to my apartment at our place. We are also both ready to call the cops if he tries to do so much as keep one thing from me. My brother was ready to fight him, but I told him not to because I don't want him getting in trouble for my relationship problems, especially since I blame myself for not noticing this sooner. Ooh. Lots of people are kind of like criticizing her about the age gap. And they're like, I know for a fact, like, my brother was able to get my things from R pretty easily, but he did try to keep my key by saying he didn't know where it was. He had been in the same place since I started staying over, but he got it from him after some threats. That confirmed to me I was right to be scared he would do something if I was alone. He tried to get my brother to pass on another apology that was basically the exact same BS he had said every other time, so nothing new there. And my brother finally had a good laugh at how dense he is, and we really needed that. My mom and Jay are both blocked. R is not yet because I'm still worried I would need to go to the cops with a test after I told him to stay away. I explained this in the comment on my first update, but I want to say it here too. The extended family that tried to get me to talk to Jay were lied to. I said it. I said it. Jay told them I was assuming and wouldn't let her explain herself, but me and my brother made sure they knew the truth, and now everything has blown up. They are not directly defending me, but I didn't expect them to, and I'm just happy they know the truth. Jay texted my brother to tell me her and R have not talked since then, and she deleted his number to get me back in her life. But if this fact is true, I think it's more because everyone except my parents see her for who she is now. Oh, thank goodness. Your ex is a piece of junk, piece of shit. But what your sister did is like she even admitted to being the one that was instigating it. Ew, gross. How you not embarrassed? This is not just a matter of sisterly rivalry, sibling rivalry. Like this is like people's heart that she's playing with. She needs to learn that there's consequences. And if your parents aren't gonna say no to her, then I'm glad that it's you, okay? Let's keep going. Also, that should have already happened if nothing was going on between them. They stayed in contact the whole week. I was trying to figure out if I was crazy, and that alone is disrespectful. The gaslighting, while also like really doing the thing that you are supposedly crazy about. My brother agreed to help me snoop for more evidence at some point when we are ready. Oh, what evidence do you need? I genuinely think you need to for now hold. We are both gonna be taking a giant step back from this whole thing because I do not want my brother to be suffocated with them trying to contact me through him. I think that you all need to breathe. Like take a step back. Take a step back. Like two, three step. We are gonna ignore it all weekend as if nothing has happened and just do stuff that makes us happy since it is clear we all we got. I'm really glad that you have your brother through all of this. He seems like a really stand-up dude. But I also wanna tell you that you are very perceptive for someone who's only 20. Your instincts were right about this stuff, and you didn't have a lot of previous life experience to be able to know that something was off. I'm really happy for you. Like, I think at the end of the day, you've just proven that you have a really good head on your shoulders, and that you have a really good instincts, and I really doubt that you're gonna let this happen to you again. So, are you the a for thinking your brother of over years cheating on you with your older sister? No. I mean, he was. But what do you guys think?